this is the penultimate weekend. Next week it's Wigan Leeds, and that is the game, of course, that will decide third, and the team that loses will probably be coming here to Huddersfield in the first week of the playoffs. Bradford will entertain Huddersfield next week. It's Hull and Saints, Wakefield, Castleford, Catalan against Warrington, Hull KR London, and Salford against Widnes. That's the programme next weekend, and then we hit the playoffs. We'll be up and running all the way to Old Trafford.
And I think that's the reason why Paul Anderson, the Giants coach, would have said to his team at half-time, say, look, we have to keep playing well. We've got to show not just their own fans, but the opposition, as you say, the Leeds or Wigan, that they can play very, very good rugby league football.
Well, let's find out what Paul Anderson has been saying at half-time. Here's Rod Studd with the half-time news.
Well, that's about the story of the first half. That knock-on by Wakefield, and Paul Anderson delighted, as you can see, as well. Pretty pleased, Eddie, as you'd expect, knowing they're 40 minutes away from achieving their objective, just requiring the same professional performance that we saw in the first half from Huddersfield. Good kicking games, solid stuff, forcing errors and scoring tries when the opportunity was afforded to them. Pretty low in the Wakefield dressing room, low on morale, Eddie, as you'd expect, given the circumstance of the past week. And too many penalties given away and too many errors, and Richard Agar feeling if they can rectify that, they can still at least be competitive in this second 40 minutes.
Yes, I think that's the word that he has to use, competitive. And he's going to have a very competitive winter, is Richard Agar, rebuilding the side. Huddersfield looking to put this game to bed. Wardle, Murphy! Oh, and he's got a bang in the process of scoring this try. Aaron Murphy. Formerly with Wakefield, of course, the number 18. This is his best ever season by some distance. He got a bit of a bang for his pains. Looks like he's going to be okay.
The knock-on by Lee Smith, you can see he took his eyes off the ball. Even at top-class level, he can come up with a schoolboy error. But this was excellent play. Again, the use of the dummy runners, just absolutely confused in it. They squeezed in tight, the Wakefield defence. And Aaron Murphy made full of the offload as well. Squeezes in at the corner. With a little bit of a knock. But he appears to be okay. He's had a wonderful season himself. And, well, we mentioned the fact that the Giants should put on a bit of a show. For all these fans that have turned up tonight, and I think they'll be confident that they'll have that league leader shield and Danny Brough.
Yeah, misses with that conversion attempt, but 22 points to nil is a healthy scoreline for the Giants.
Well, people have spoken about how they're a team, and this is a great team try, isn't it? When you've got more attackers running than there are defenders, you've got every chance. The man making the pass can find the right one. There's going to be somebody in space, and Murphy shows that. I bet the Wakefield supporters who made the journey here just frustrated really that their side are watching former players from Wakefield score against them here now. Aaron Murphy is another example of that. The Wakefield club have exported players. Has this kick found the dead ball line?
Well, Murphy went for the kick-off on the fall. He got a call from behind him by the looks of things. It was going out, but it wasn't. And David Fayuma looks round and says, it wasn't me. Must have been somebody behind me in the crowd.
A Wakefield fan.
A Wakefield fan on the front row. Leave it! And he did. Goal line dropout.
He couldn't believe it, Murphy, because he turned around and he says, you called. No, I didn't. He'll learn from that, Murphy.
Yeah, not to take any notice of anything he hears.
Yeah, naughty fans. If you're under the ball, Eddie, you know, and it looks as though you can get to it, then get it and shout out, it's mine.
Lee Smith hanging on this time will play the ball to Ayton. And Anakin is spun to the ground on the second tackle. Ayton again, midway inside the Giants' half of the field with Richie Mathers.
A little bit more running as well from the dummy half position, trying to confuse the first and second markers on the Giants. It's been far too much just one-out football, but the good offload there.
Well, the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, they won here last year, 35 points to 14. Richie Mathers scored a try in that game. And here is Andy Raleigh. Oof.
He's lost it.
That's been the story of Wakefield's night, I'm afraid.
Yeah, too many errors, too many missed tackles. Raleigh really should have kept hold of that ball, couldn't. But again, it's this pressure that the Giants put on the opposition. I must say I've been watching a wonderful battle that's been going on out there. Joe Wardle, his defence against the big fella Danny Kerman throughout this game has been superb. We normally see Kerman rampaging through any defence, but Wardle has his measure tonight.
Well, I'm probably going to put the mockers on Huddersfield here because they haven't, as yet, kept any team in Super League in 2013 scoreless. I just wonder if that is one little target that Paul Anderson has set his players.
I bet he did, Eddie. I bet he got them in the dressing rooms at half-time and said, let's keep that big fat 0 at the side of Wakefield's name. I've been watching the first 5 minutes of the second half, and I think Wakefield may well have got themselves in the dressing room at half-time and said, let's ask some questions, let's throw some offloads and make sure we play a little bit. It's no good kicking, completing. We can't play that game against Huddersfield. They're a little bit better than that job, than us.
At that job than
we'll
us.
get it out eventually.
Yeah, you got it there in the end. When you think Wakefield, you know, they're obviously going through the horrors tonight and at the moment, but think back just over a decade. Huddersfield were the perennial also-rans, weren't they? They were never off the foot of the table. But they've gradually turned it round. Tony Smith, John Sharp, help me out here with a few more names. Nathan Brown came along, didn't he?
Al Reilly was there at that point, at the beginning of that process as well. So Huddersfield have had to do a lot of stuff. They've had to do a lot of rebuilding off the pitch.
And our old pal John Keir, of course, was involved as well. And now it has fallen to Paul Anderson.
And he's done a fine job, hasn't he? He should be extremely pleased.
Well, he should be the coach of the year, Steve.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I'll be astounded if he didn't get the nod.
He came up, I remember one year for the Man of Steel, he came up actually to pick it up for Nathan. Nathan Brown had gone back to Australia before the Man of Steel ceremony, and Paul came up and collected it on Nathan Brown's behalf. He gave me a knee in the ribs as well, I remember that night. Something about a drop goal I mentioned, or a penalty goal that he kicked for Saints. He wasn't happy about that. But he'd be happy about this. And here is Cudjoe attacking them. Great ball out the back. McGilvray is too strong. Ken Daly on his feet. Broad smiles. He had his fingers crossed before the game. Ken, you can uncross them now. This team is going to finish top of the pile.
And what a way to celebrate as well. McGilvray, the pass was superb, one-handed. He knew he couldn't squeeze in at the corner, so he put the step on. The defence was too brittle. And the big giant, as well as another giant, Jermaine McGilvray. He'll enjoy that, and the fans have, certainly. Well, we hoped that they would turn it on. And look at this, Danny Brough, teasing, in and out, show it all about, then get it moving. Great hands, watch the centre, sucks in, Ben Cockayne, and then just does the step. They had the numbers, but the step undid them. Tremendous stuff. Look at that, one-handed, bang, went too high, did Cockayne.
And the kick isn't bad either from Danny Brough. 28 points to 0. Get the champagne in the fridge, because Huddersfield will be celebrating tonight.
Well, they're showing all of the ingredients of a winning champion side here, aren't they? Half-backs running at defenders, then offloading the ball and keeping it alive. But probably the most important aspect that I think they've shown today is not what they've done when they're in possession, but when they've done without it. You know, you can still attack your opponents when they have the ball, and the way that they've approached the defence tonight here has shown an attacking mindset. They want to harass, force Wakefield into error that they have done tonight, and turn over possession and convert from it. And you can see the delight for the chairman. I mean, they'll probably win the League Leaders' Shield. I guess he'd want to forget how much that trophy's probably cost him.
Yes, you're probably right. He invested millions, hasn't he? But it's all coming good, all paying dividends. And if you look down this list of Huddersfield players. There isn't one player out there tonight who has won a league leadership with their club, but their coach has. Paul Anderson has been a league leader 6 times as a player. Bradford and Saints, twice with Bradford, 4 times with Bradford, twice with Saints. And look at the confidence that his men are playing with here. Keeping the ball alive, they just can't get them down, Wakefield.
Good work again by Cudjoe.
Here's Brough, this could be one of the tries of the century. No, it's going to be the free play, and they're not interested in that, Brett Ferris. Well, so often in the past, we have turned up here with our cameras when Huddersfield have been on a roll and they've fallen foul. Tonight, they've got a big crowd in, we're here, and they are treating everybody to some champagne stuff.
Good work there by Lee Smith, but he knew he was stretched again. The quality we saw from the centre, Leroy Cudjoe. They've enjoyed it, and they know that they're going to stay around for the presentation. Amazing, isn't it? 4 years on the trot, they picked up the wooden spoon, and yet just over a decade, they've turned it all around. Who would have thought it?
Do you know, Steve, I think that's where they're winning this game. Every time Huddersfield go into collision, they're winning that particular battle, and their skill set, and oh, there you go.
Barry, that's the curse, you see.
Yeah. I was just about to talk about Luke Robinson and Danny Brough, and apart from that blemish, they've been absolutely superb.
Yeah, a bit of a high shot as well, and the offload. I think Kyle Wood got a little bit of a late challenge, not seen. They're pulling it. That should be a penalty. Not allowed to do that. Brough says, "What? You're kidding."
I thought they could pull. Porsche didn't think they could pull.
He's got it right as the official.
He said they called held, but it was a matter of a millisecond.
He did. He called held, but I think it was always inevitable they're going to go in. He called held at that point, and they end up over. That's why the penalty is. If they managed to stop, which is very difficult, I appreciate, it wouldn't have been a penalty.
No, they had no chance of stopping, did they? They only had one eye for the whitewash. That was it.
And it was clear that Murphy was pulling.
Yeah, but it's that attitude in defence. I know they've been penalised there, but that typifies what they've done. They've tried to force their opponents backwards or even cough up possession, and it's why they've looked so good, and the score gives them a 28 lead.
Now then, a threat on their line coming here with Mathers, who pops it up to Kermond.
We often speak about you can't just say one man can make a team, but I tell you what, Wakefield are missing Tim Smith tonight, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Lauatiti still going. Big Ali, another one of his trademark offloads to Ayton. Ayton dabs it in, and Grix picks it up and just runs it dead.
Yeah, does the right thing. Nothing fancy when you're leading 28-0. You don't have to.
And there's those offloads, Steve-O. As I say, I think they've said we need to ask some questions. We need to make the Huddersfield defenders have more to think about. And that offload from Lauatiti gave the opportunity to Wakefield. They'll get another set of possession now. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, it was a decent kick by the hooker, Paul Ayton, but once again, Scott Grix in a good position. His positional play at full-back has really improved this year.
Underneath the dropout is Bobby Goulding, and he pops it up to Oliver Wilkes. Right, a second set of 6 then for Wakefield. What can they do with it? Ayton gives it to Justin Poor. Ayton's in there again. We'll come down the right-hand side this time with Goulding. To Kermond. Nearly through Kermond, but then the reinforcements arrive in the shape of Brett Ferris. He nearly turned Joe Wardle inside out. It's with Mathers, who finds Goulding again. Here's Wilkes riding the tackle. Back it comes to Lee Smith. Smith gives it some air and finds Lauatiti. Lauatiti tangling with Robinson.
Robinson is not going to let go, so you're not offloading this occasion. Lauatiti just gives him a tap and says, well done.
Mathers again. Mathers, short ball to Wilkes. Solid defence. Here comes the last for Wakefield.
And the great tackle from Brett Ferris. He's worked overtime. Oh, that was... Had a big rake cross on that one. Shocking pass.
Sums up Wakefield's night, doesn't it?
No. They're just not at the races, are they? And they know it.
And just as they think they've got something to shout about, you look on the sideline, the two bookends, Kopchak and Crabtree getting ready to come back on to add some power to the Giants. Look at them.
Yes, every good team needs a couple of bookends, doesn't it?
Can't play the game without him, Ed.
Absolutely.
No, just it. Hold the 10 boys, hold. Go.
And McGilvray is held. So Kermond has to release him. Plays the ball to Kyle Wood. Here's Robinson. That was Chan was almost through, and that's the penalty. It went against Wakefield because Ayton would not allow him to get to his feet and play it properly. Look.
Yeah, just kept hold of the leg. But again, you saw the enthusiastic Giant player get us it right. Come on, let's get away from it. Good work from Kyle Wood. He was away. It's been a feature. The Giants runs from dummy half. Absolutely split this Wakefield defence time and time again. But it's runs like that from Kopchak.
Yeah, tremendous run again from Kopchak. 9 penalties to 2 in Huddersfield's favour. That certainly hasn't helped the Wakefield cause. Wardle on the diagonal run. They've got more points in them, Huddersfield, I think. Here comes Crabtree. Down he goes 10 metres from the line. Halfway through this set of 6. Wood goes to Brough. Brough then finds Robinson. Robinson thought about ducking underneath Ali Lauatiti. Couldn't get small enough to go underneath him.
He thought he got a good wallop there, pleading to the official.
Brough found Crabtree. Crabtree offloads back to Brough. Brough with a bullet pass to Murphy forward. He's getting it forward. Well, I tell you what, Danny Brough ended up in the in-goal area here.
Well, he's not happy either, is it? Like to see that again. His Huddersfield players all know he's got that in his tool bag. Danny Brough, look at this. Stewart, forward.
Out of his hands, it's gone forwards. You can see that. Doesn't matter how far he runs. Doesn't matter at all.
But he's in front of the ball.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's still on the pass. It's where you pass the ball. You know, you could lob the ball 5 yards forward and run in front of it. That doesn't make it okay. You know, the ball's passed forward out of the hands. It's drifted forward. You can see it here.
You've just blown the momentum rule out of the water, Stuart.
At last, it took me 16 years to do that.
He's done that a few times this season, Danny Brough, and it's never been picked up. Anyway, that one was 28-0. The touch judge, I think, gave the call, and well, 28-0. It probably won't make any difference. It might in a grand final.
I think the official got it right, actually. I think when we saw it from the sideline, Eddie, you could see that Brough's hands was pointing forward, and that's sufficient for the touch judge as well. Combining well with Tim Rowe, with the referee. Now they can Wakefield just get some sort of consolation.
Well, the only test now remaining in this game for Huddersfield is their concentration. Whether they've got another 23 minutes here of playing at the same intensity and focus that they've had. Frankie Mariano, Stu White and Cocaine, and he attempts to kick it through. But at the moment, everything the white shirts try is covered.
Well, watch Luke Robinson on this play. He says, I've got the man with the ball. It's Frankie Mariano. He then leaves 2 Huddersfield defenders to look after Ben Cocaine. Great work from Luke Robinson. And eventually, edge defenders leave Ben Cocaine little to no option.
Well, Cocaine was pleading with the official to say that he was obstructed.
Monday week, the 2013 Dream Team will be announced. The voting panel have had their say. I think the final votes have to be in by tomorrow, and then a week hence, as the playoff series is launched, the Dream Team will be announced. How many Huddersfield players do you think will get in that mythical Dream Team this year?
Well, I'll say 2 for definite. And that'd be Danny Brough and Earl Crabtree.
I think Sean Lump, Brett Ferris are in with a shout. Probably 4, I think, Steve-O.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. As I say, we've got plenty of good hookers.
Kopchak's neck went back on the tackle from Danny Washbrook here.
Yeah, went right over the top, tried to pull his arm away to...
Sorry, the point that John Wells made before the game, the dream team's picked on the best individual players. Huddersfield might not have that, but they might be the best team. And in a sport like rugby league, being the best team is what counts, rather than having naturally the best individuals.
That's right, and dream team by the very nature is it's your dream of who the players are that you want in your team, I suppose.
For once, I'll agree.
I won't ask what your dream dinner party list is, Steve-O, by the way, because...
Just console yourself for the fact that you would not be invited.
No, thank goodness,
okay?
the three that you've chosen. Anyway,
yeah.
here they come again. He was nearly through once more with Jason Chan. Yes, he's never got a hat-trick in his career. One's beckoning tonight. That's good defence from Collis, though. Oh, the ball comes out.
Play on.
And Ferris round the corner and off the fingertips of Wardle and into touch.
Well, Ferris did everything right, and Wardle, fingertips, just couldn't get it in. It was virtually a clear run to the line. The ball was going up slightly.
There's some skill on show from Brett Ferris there. Watch the grip on the ball. The ball comes out, and automatically Brett Ferris is looking at Fox thinking, I need to get the ball around the back of Fox to free up a Huddersfield attacker. Great skill.
Mathers into a brick wall that is a Kumatai.
Do you know, it's been so long in this game, Eddie, that I can't remember a clean break by Wakefield at all.
No, I don't think there's been many. Ayton didn't get one then. Then Cocaine gives it to Kermond, and he is scrapped to the floor by Brough. He didn't like it, Danny Kermond.
He certainly did, and he went looking for him.
Here goes Cocaine. Zero play this. Big Earl.
And yet,
well, they're trying hard, Wakefield, but it's just not coming.
Another error, it's just been a nightmare.
Cudjoe, doesn't he stand well and get the ball away to Kopjak?
He's been impressive, hasn't he, Cudjoe?
So
is this kid.
Great run, taking Kermond with him to the 20-metre line. Griggs is waiting at dummy half. There's Brough and Robinson. Robinson tries to slide the kick in. It was played at, and it is going to be Wakefield's ball.
Well, I know Huddersfield have had a lot of possession in this game, but you still got to do something with it when your team have hold of the ball, and they've looked particularly strong here tonight.
What will be most pleasing, and I'm sure Paul Anderson will say after the game, is the way that the Giants have defended. They really have scrambled back.
Well, you talk about the defence, Mike. You know, they've made over 200 tackles in this game and only missed 3. You know, 99% success from the defence is outstanding. Look, they made 8 breaks to 1. As I say, even though they've had a lot of ball, they've been creative, there's been variety. It isn't as though everything centres around Danny Brough. They look like a dangerous team tonight.
Murphy penalised for a high shot.
Well, I can't see it.
Didn't look like it.
He may have hit the ball, but that's about it.
Wilkes will take it forward. League leadership in Super League is so important. In the years that we have had the grand final since 1998. Another mistake, but it went backwards for Wakefield. And well, Jermaine McGilvray is all over Ben Cocaine. He doesn't like it, Cocaine. Just going to make the point that in the years that we've had a grand final, 8 of the 15 league leaders have gone on to compete in the big night. So it is important, and actually not just compete in it, but to win it. It's very, very important to get to the top of the table. And not only that, of course, if you get to the top of the table, you win your first round in the playoffs, you get the chance to pick your opponents to get to Old Trafford.
Knock on by Lee Smith. It really has been a huge struggle for this Wakefield side, and obviously the financial problems that have been revealed just recently certainly hasn't helped the mindset of this Wakefield Trinity side.
No, they must have arrived tonight deflated.
Yeah.
And they knew the size of the task that faced them against a team going so well as Huddersfield. And Richard Agar has done well to galvanise some sort of spirit out of his players.
But what he'll want, Eddie, is he'll just want his team and its players to do their best. If they can come off the field knowing they've done their best, then that's all the coach can ask. 28 points to nil, it's certainly a difficult uphill task for them to get anything, but there's some pride and a lot of pride in those shirts for the Trinity Wildcats.
Yeah, it's a lopsided scoreline, but to be fair to them, I think they have done as well as they can be expected to tonight.
Yeah, well, they haven't thrown the towel in, that is for sure. Because this is a superb side, and they've shown it. They've shown some good skills.
Here they come. Look at the handling skills.
They're always looking for something different. They're always probing, spinning around in the tackling. That's been an improvement, especially from the forwards. And the big fella there, Earl Crabtree, he's added a new dimension to his attack.
What a nice little run that was from Lunt as well. Up it goes, high off the boot of Brough. Well claimed. Well claimed by
Mariano.
Frankie Mariano, yes.
Yeah. Good take under pressure.
Mathers running into a blind alley. Mariano. They're formerly with Huddersfield, of course. No, he isn't. Got the wrong note, sorry. Frankie Mariano, he's off to Castleford in 2014. That's what I meant to say. There's the fellow who once upon a time was at Huddersfield, Danny Kermond. And there's a knock-on from the big fella too.
Yeah, it's, I mentioned it midway through the second half. You know, his battle. He's such a big man, very difficult to put down. But his battle with Joe Wardle has been—it's been a real pleasure to watch.
Well, Steve, you were talking about the lack of line breaks from Wakefield. Frank, Danny Kermond is the only player, to my knowledge, in only about 20-minute mark that he has brought the line of Huddersfield, but it came from the harassment of the Huddersfield defenders, that mistake.
Ferris trying to out-muscle them down this touchline.
Ooh, headbutted Bobby Goulding in the chest, I mean.
Takes some stopping, doesn't he, Ferris? Brough to Robinson. That was flicked by a hand.
Should be back to 6.
It is. 0 is the cowl. 0 is the call. So the tackle count restarts here. And Griggs.
But look at the space that Wakefield have allowed. The running from the dummy half position by the Giants has been superb, and it's just been far too much for Wakefield, I'm afraid.
Griggs is waiting, and the ball is played to him by Lunt. Brough again, short ball this time. Lawrence. Lunt to Robinson. Thought about going one way, came the other.
Yeah, he was looking for an inside forward. Normally it would have been there.
Oh, Jason Chan's looking for the hat-trick. The kick into the in-goal area, swept away by Richard Mathers. Pressure, pressure, pressure.
It's a key factor in any sport, and they've been able to handle it.
Steve, well, that's the second row who's putting that kick in. It's not a miss kick, it's a pinpoint perfect kick.
Pinpoint perfect, well done, Barry.
Papua New Guinean. I wonder whether Adrian Lamb, the PNG coach, probably watching tonight. Pretty pleased with how Paul Ayton's gone for Wakefield. I have to admire the spirit and character for the players in the white shirts. You know, 28-0, penultimate game in the Super League season for them. And yet there's so much effort still being shown by the side.
Well, Richard Agar's going to learn a lot about his players, and in games like this, you don't want to be the type of player that's looking for the long grass. You want to be the bloke that stands up, keeps defending, and if you go down with a fight.
And plenty to fight for next week when they take on local rivals Castleford in the last game. So they will, one of those two clubs, neighbours, will take the bragging rights into the winter break. It was stolen.
Penalty, yeah, 2-on-1. Well, they've had a trouble trying to get possession, haven't they? But you can see quite clearly Al-Titi whipped the ball away from Chan. Well, still plenty of time remaining. The fans are happy.
Yes, and the presentation cup is a little bit more grand than that. The Shield, they will get that in around about 12 minutes' time. Crabtree will drive it up the middle. Just needs a last try or two from Huddersfield to put the icing on the cake. Might come here with Robinson. No, it won't. Not with a pass like that.
Well, I think that's about the only second mistake that Luke Robinson has come up with. He's had a fine match. He really has. It's been interesting to see how the two half-backs, they've shared the work, shared the distribution. And that's a massive advantage for the coach, Paul Anderson, to know that you've got the likes of Brough and Robinson out there. Even before the kick-off, Eddie, you know, the opposition is saying who's going to control this game. But the kicking game also by the Giants have been, it will be so pleasing for them to lift that silver trophy.
Yes, the enthusiasm of the likes of Brough and Robinson is infectious. I think if I'm right in saying, though, the kick from Goulding here is easily fielded enough by McGilvray. I think I'm right in saying, Barry, that when we were talking to Luke, the Luke Robinson Glee Club might be missing today, he said, didn't he?
Did he not say it was his sister's birthday and she'd gone to Bradford on a music festival?
I think so, yes. Might be missing his big night. But I bet she'll be there at Old Trafford if they get to the grand final.
Talk about missing. Bobby Goulding certainly didn't miss that effort. You know, for a young scrum half, I think he's done pretty well today. He made the kick through and then McGilvray charged at him. You know, in the first half, there's only 2 Wakefield players made more tackles than young Bobby Goulding, so out of defeat, there is still some positives.
Absolutely, he's from good stock.
Certainly is, and it's been a difficult game for him when you know he's got to line up against Brough and Robinson. Great work from the hooker, offload. Oh, Joe Wardle, can't believe it. That's the second occasion when he thought that the try line was begging. Then he came up with the error.
It was a free play, though, so they'll go back and get the scrum.
Yep. It's worth it, isn't it? Second effort. That's also been a great feature for this Huddersfield Giants outfit.
I know it doesn't look like it because Joe Wardle's not smiling, but believe you me, Huddersfield are having some fun here. There's 28-0 on the scoreboard, 10 minutes to go. You know you've got to pick up a trophy at the end of the game. They're going to enjoy these last 10 minutes, the Giants players.
Now then, will Danny Brough kick from the scrum?
I think Earl Crabtree is going to score next. I've just got one of those feelings that Big Earl will get over the line.
Here's Cudjoe. Great pass. McGilvray. Too big, too strong. Second try for McGilvray. Well, he's as big as Earl Crabtree, but he's a winger.
After McGilvray, Earl Crabtree is going to score next.
Jermaine McGilvray, once he got the ball from Cudjoe's pass, he was not going to be stopped.
Great
18th
combination.
of the year.
Great combination, Eddie. The way that McGilvray and Leroy Cudjoe has played. Once he gets the overlap going. I often cringe sometimes when I see Cudjoe carrying the ball with one hand, but it gives him the opportunity to be able to fend and then set his winger up. Not the best defence. Halil Titi, I think he was having a little bit of a rest out there, actually.
Well, Jermaine McGilvray scored the first try of the season at St Helens way back in February that set the Giants off on their way to this wonderful year that they have had. He's just scored the latest one here, and can Brough add the extras? The question is academic. It's 34-0.
Well, Huddersfield have passed the ball a lot to the right today, and it's no wonder Leroy Cudjoe just is red hot today. I know Frankie Mariano might not have played a lot of centre, but no wonder they're putting their hands in the right centre. Leroy Cudjoe made that try again there, created the space and time for his winger. And I'll tell you what, in the playoffs, he could be the key maybe to getting this side to the grand final.
Well, he's in my dream team.
had a dream performance today. I'm with Barry though about Earl Crabtree. It'd be really fitting for him to score the last try here. For 10 years, he stood behind his post time and time again when his team conceded tries. You know, they had some embarrassing years and some tough times. He's been through the bad and he's now here for the good. It'd be great for him to get the final try here on a year and to cap off what will be a year of success for the Huddersfield Giants.
He looks like he wants one too.
He's not going to score it from here, I don't think.
Richie Mathers is about 10-15 metres behind the line here. He's screaming for reinforcements. He can see what's coming. Collis with a good tackle on Brett Ferris. Lunt.
It's been an impressive performance, though, by the Giants. The big crowd turned up tonight. They wanted the celebration. Well, they've got one.
And Danny Brough just drills the ball into touch.
Yeah, he knows the game is well and truly won. No point in wasting too much energy. His kicking game has been superb, as throughout the season as well.
What a fabulous crowd inside here. They've all got their little banners. Thank you, Ken. And Ken Davey deserves as much credit for this as anybody else. And he is delighted, as you can see.
Yep, fully deserved. And remember, Paul Anderson, I cannot believe it. Paul Anderson said to all his fans and say, I am sick and tired of people trying to tell me when are Huddersfield going to collapse. Well, they haven't. And they will be lifting that silver trophy. This has been a fine performance, both in attack, but especially in defence. They've had no answer to it, Wakefield. They've been battered and bruised in the forwards. They've certainly missed Tim Smith, the man that's guided them round the field this year. They've tried their damnedest as Wakefield, but the Giants have been just far too good.
And this is Collis as we enter the last 5 minutes. Huddersfield will be back here. This is their last home weekly round fixture, but they will be back here in the playoffs.
That's a great bomb there by Goulding. A great take as well by Scott Griggs.
Oh, and a fumble as well.
I think Richie Mathers dislodged that ball while Scott Griggs was on the floor. Stuart, how did you see that one?
I just saw the ball come out. I'm not sure how it did.
Yeah, it was pulled away by Mathers.
It's a one-on-one tackle because the tackle isn't complete. He was on his back, so
should have been play on then.
Could have been play on.
Well, the celebrations are starting. It's been a long time between drinks and that champagne. Hopefully the players won't be getting involved with a glass of champers.
I think they should be allowed a small
I think we'll
glass.
let them have one, Steve. Oh, come on, man.
They've got to be professional, man.
They will be, don't worry, they won't go mad. They won't be getting taken to their bedrooms at 7:30 in the evening and locked up for the night.
Well, I hope not, that's for sure.
Dab to the in-goal area. Whoa,
he's knocked on. Aaron Murphy. Solid lads.
Knock on in goal by Aaron Murphy, just finishing a little scrappily.
That was a strange decision on the first tackle. Lee Smith puts that ball into the right area and Aaron Murphy can't pick it up.
It's been probably that's about the first good kick that we've seen from Wakefield in the second half, because they've hardly been anywhere near the Giants' goal line. It's been a very, very good team performance.
Goal line dropout is fumbled by Smith, but it went backwards. They're lucky to get away with that, Wakefield. And very soon now, 3.5 minutes, the league leaders' shield will be ready for the trophy cabinet here at the John Smith Stadium. That's what all the fusses has been about. To get to the top of the table, that's the reward, the league leaders' shield. The big prize is beckoning at Old Trafford on October the 5th. The Super League Grand Final trophy.
And fully deserved tonight, and they really have kept a keen eye on this fella, isn't he, Danny Kerman? He's had a wonderful season. Can they get this consolation try? Paul Anderson will be desperate to say we want to keep that big 0.
They've got to get it off the big frame of Lauatiti first. That's the last one here for Wakefield. 6 metres from the line. Ayton gets it to Smith. The ball inside here is a chance for Anakin, and the defence is solid. And the 0 against Wakefield's name, if it stays that way in 2 minutes, will be as pleasing for Paul Anderson as the 34 points his team have scored.
Well, he's not smiling there.
Well, he'll be telling us tonight the job's not done.
Yeah, he's absolutely spot on.
He's got to first base.
Yeah, one job is done, and that's win the trophy. Remember, a major trophy last time, 1962.
Yes, and that, as you rightly said earlier on, was when they beat Wakefield at 14-5 at Odsal, a week after Huddersfield had lost to Wakefield at Wembley. I'm so pleased for Huddersfield. I'm so pleased for Ken Davey.
I bet he wants extra time, Eddie. He's watched that many games when his team have been embarrassed.
He's not
and
had
lost.
oh, here we go. Yeah, he's not had many big days out.
Earl Crabtree, Eddie. Earl Crabtree.
Play another 10 minutes.
This is his chance. This is a big Earl's chance.
Yeah, well, why don't we put Earl? He's going into the front row. Put him out at standoff. Let him have a run at the 3/4 line. There's a big fella.
Let's go, boys. Stand down.
Has he got lipstick on?
I don't think so.
You should know, Baz, it's called blood.
Okay, ready? So.
Now then, Robinson. Chan wants the hat-trick, of course. There's another personal milestone for him. We enter the last minute. They find Robinson. They find Grix. Oh, and Grix fumbles it, but it went backwards. It's coming this way.
Here's a big fella. He's lining up.
He is long. Patrick plays it untidily. It gets to Crabtree. He's over. Has he got it down? No.
Has he got it? Give it to him. Oh, come on, Roby.
Killjoy.
Holy moly.
So close to a golden moment for Earl. He'll have to play the ball. And Lump will go through that. Crabtree gets the assist. Lump gets the try. Ken Davey is wreathed in smiles. And Huddersfield are league leaders in 2013. A triumph for Paul Anderson and his team. He's won at Old Trafford as Sean Lunt just last year. Is he one of the key figures to guide the Giants to the Theatre of Dreams?
There's a big fella. It went ever so close, didn't he? Rowan did well to try to get him through, but Sean Lunt threw the dummy. Paul Ayton took it, and that wraps it up. It wraps up a great season for this hooker. As Eddie has already mentioned, he was there last year as a winner on the big stage at Old Trafford. And as this guy adds the extra 2, Danny Brough will be hoping that there's more silverware to be picked up in a few weeks' time.
Well, there it is. They're at first base. They have started now on another journey and another road. And Paul Anderson knows the legacy of 2013. Well, it has been written partly by this victory and this League Leaders' Shield, but the bigger fish have yet to be fried.
That's right. You've got to see it as a pit stop and not the full stop for the year. They've really worked hard to get to this situation, and I'm sure with the experience of the coach, his assistant Kieran Purtle, who's been around the game for a while and understands mentally and emotionally that they've got themselves to this title, and it's a well-deserved one. I'm sure they'll celebrate this, but they do have to keep the mind on the job, which has another few weeks left in it.
Yes, they've succeeded here in keeping a team scoreless for the first time this year, and how fitting in front of probably their biggest crowd of the season, on their biggest night of the season, when they win silver for the first time since '62 and top the table for the first time in 81 years, that they have reserved this performance for this night. Last nilled Wakefield, March 2012. That was on Sky as well at London. 36-0 last season. The 10th time this year that the Huddersfield Giants have topped 40 points. They are, in all but name, a champion team.
Well, they started the season fantastic. 40 points to 4, they won at St Helens. I didn't think that they can continue that way, but they finished it at home with a similar performance, and a convincing one in many ways, not just because of the scoreline, but the performance that underpinned it. The foundations were in place for a fantastic playoff series and a possible chance to win the big prize at Grand Final if they can continue in that sort of fashion.
And if they can keep men like Danny Brough, Sean Lunt, and the man of the match, Luke Robinson, in good health. Here he is with Rod Studd.
Thanks, Eddie. Luke, man of the match performance. There's a bottle of champagne, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebration in Huddersfield tonight. Just tell us how good that feels to be the League Leaders' Shield winners, Huddersfield Giants.
Yeah, it feels pretty good, to be fair. You know, we've played well all year as the league table. You know, said before, I don't lie. We've played consistent stuff, which we probably haven't done in the past. And yeah, it's nice. Obviously, it's first silverware for us, and great for the club and the fans. The chairman has pumped a lot of money in, and the fans have, you know, there might not be a lot of them, but they're very loyal. They come and they pay their hard money, you know, hard-earned money every week to come watch us and support us. And you know, not only is it about the team, it's about the town, the fans, and the chairman.
Look, when you came here, everyone was saying Huddersfield are going to win this game and it's going to be easy and they're going to pick up the Shield. So there's also a possibility that everything can go horribly wrong, but it was a very professional performance by the Giants, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, I've had Big Baloo in me here all day telling me what I'm doing wrong, and he's been berating us for certain things we've been doing, and you know, he's always looking for a bit more from us, really. But yeah, to come away, you know, with a result against Wakefield and Millham is, you know, it's great. But we're not getting carried away. Obviously, it's great for the club, it's great for us, but fingers crossed this is, you know, something, you know, there's going to be something more at the end of it.
Yeah, this is something that's just the start now. You've got pole position in the playoffs, but the aim is for you and the rest of the guys to walk out at Old Trafford. That really would be something, wouldn't it? Yeah,
it was. Like I say, it's amazing winning the League Leaders' Shield. It was a goal of ours at the beginning of the year. It's great for everybody involved, but you kind of forget who wins it, don't you, when grand final time comes round, and whoever plays well, you know, gets to grand final at Old Trafford and plays the best, that's all you remember. So for us, it's great for now, but we're going to enjoy it tonight, and then after that we'll be I'm sure we'll be back training hard. Baloo's got what to do with it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will be. Just tell us where you're going to send the £100 charity money, Luke, could you?
I'd like to give it to Ria's Rainbow. I'd like to say hello to my little lads at home as well.
OK, well done, well said, Luke, and well played. Let's bring Paul Anderson in, the Huddersfield Giants head coach. But Paul, there's been a lot of coaches gone before you at Huddersfield that have laid the platform, but it's you that's got the baton in your hand as you've gone over the line. So how good does that feel to be the man steering them to the League Leaders' Shield?
Oh yeah, it feels good. Obviously, it's winning's better than losing, and it's not about me, it's not about our staff, it's about the real good group of players that we have at this club, and they all work hard for each other, and if you keep working hard, you get the rewards, don't you?
Give us an assessment on your team's performance tonight.
I thought the game as a whole was a bit scrappy. Wakefield came here to spoil things and giving penalties away and high shots, and I don't think it ever was conducive to a fluent game, but we did what we had to do. We're professional, and the scoreboard speaks for itself.
You'll be at home in the first round of the playoffs from pole position. It will be Leeds or Wigan in the first round. Give us a thought on that. I know it's a fortnight away.
You play who you play, don't you? The only thing is it's a different competition then, but I don't want to say that all year. I've got Bradford in my mind now, and we'll move on to Bradford, and then obviously the playoffs, so that's a whole different competition.
Do you feel that your team has got enough credit? Because people still are talking about Warrington and Wigan being the favourites.
I couldn't care less. We'll just keep doing what we do, and I've got to pay massive tribute to the spectators here today. There's nearly 9,000 come out, and they're all Huddersfield fans. So 9,000 Huddersfield fans, and what happened today, when I came to the stadium today, there was an atmosphere, and the players thrived on it, and like I said, the scoreboard showed that, and this is for them, and obviously for our club, our chairman and his family.
Good on you, Paul. Many congratulations.
Cheers, mate.
Very well said, Paul Anderson. People don't give them credit. I don't care. Couldn't care less. They'll give them credit when they pick this up in a few moments' time. They will also give them credit if and when they get to Old Trafford. It's a long journey that still lies ahead, but this is the first step, and here they go up to the presentation area, up the steps, being led by their captain Danny Brough to pick up this League Leaders' Shield. Great reward for a great season's effort, and I just wonder whether this is the start of something big for this team. They have all played their part. They're all being allowed to get up there before Danny will pick up the League Leaders' Shield.
And what a moment for the captain, Danny Brough. What a moment for all the Huddersfield fans.
Nigel Wood, the chief executive of the Rugby Football League, is the man who's going to make the presentation tonight to Danny Brough, flanked by Ken Davey and his wife Jennifer. It must be a sweet, sweet moment for them after so much trial and tribulation. And I think they're just delaying the moment. They are living the moment, and here it is. Huddersfield Giants, league leaders at last.
And listen to the noise. It's a long time since this stadium has had such a roar. And look at the delight on the man, Ken Davey. He's been loyal. There's been so many. The backroom staff, they've all worked hard, and he knows it. But he's the man that has made sure that they've built up, slowly but surely, a wonderful, wonderful effort. And a nice moment.
Roxy has been there every step of the way. From the lows to this, the highs. And all the other members of the squad. Stuart Fielden, who has announced his retirement from playing and will join the coaching staff. It's a collective moment.
They've used 30 different players this season. We're getting to see some of the ones who may have only featured in one particular match, but he has used a squad of 30. What is interesting though is about his back line. He's consistently picked the same 1 to 7. The same team that beat Wakefield back in February started the game here tonight, and I think that consistency of selection has certainly helped in the consistency of performance.
Yeah, tremendous effort, and down the years they've had their ups and downs, and this is the glory night. And I'd like to send a cheerio to a very good friend of mine, Keith Burhouse. He hasn't been well of late. Hope you get better, Keith. And he has been a man that has stuck by this club through thick and thin, just like this fella. But Keith Burhouse has been at Fartown there and was, shall we say, helped drag this club back to this moment of glory, and I know that he will be celebrating. Tremendous for this town.
Yes, great for the town, the birthplace of the great game itself, of course, the town of Huddersfield, and the Giants can march all the way to Old Trafford. Well, here is a short-priced favourite in many people's books to be Man of Steel, the captain of Huddersfield, Danny Brough.
Danny, thanks for coming across in the midst of the celebration. It's a terrific night for Huddersfield. Just some of how you're feeling as the captain.
Yeah, I'm over the moon. I've had a great team and a great coaching staff behind us this year. And I just think, it's something the club deserved. And I think for all that Ken's put in and the hard work he's done, I think it's a big reward for him. But, we can't take that for granted. We've won something, but we haven't done the main thing that we want to do yet.
You picked up that league leadership and you gave it straight to Ken Davey, the owner. Just tell us why you did that.
Well, the silverware's for him, really. We just go out and do his job, and that's play rugby. And like I say, the main aim this year is to get to Old Trafford. And yeah, the club's won some silverware. That's all well and good for fans and the chief exec, but we want to go further.
You've put yourself in the best possible position to go to Old Trafford, though, haven't you?
Yeah, we have that, and we've been consistent. We haven't been the best all year, but we'll take that. And anything can happen in these playoffs, and it's great to be a part of it.
Thanks for talking to us, Danny, and all the best for the playoffs. Let's bring Ken Davey in. Here he is. Ken, you've seen a lot of dark days at Huddersfield. This is a terrific night for you and the club, isn't it?
It's wonderful. It's been a long time coming, but everybody deserves it. The players deserve it. The coaches deserve it. The town deserves it. It's a wonderful day for Huddersfield.
Just tell us how you felt personally when they're singing your name and then Danny Brough gives you the trophy.
Well, it's all a bit embarrassing, really. I try not to I try to keep a low profile, but it's a very special day. A very special day, and it's wonderful that everybody should say such nice things.
It's been a tremendously long road, hasn't it? And it must have been times when you thought along that road, is it all worth it? But you look round tonight, it has been worth it, hasn't it?
Of course it has. It's been 17 years, so it's not hardly been an overnight success, but we've been building and building, and we've got a lot more to do yet. This is just the beginning.
Are you allowing your mind to wander what it'd be like sat in the director's box at Old Trafford?
Not yet. No, let's enjoy tonight.
I'm sure you will. Thanks for talking to us, Ken. Many congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Well, normally we hear coaches and players talk about one game at a time. Now we hear it from the lips of the chairman, but how deserved it is for Ken Davies. 17 long and at times difficult years, but look what this night means to him. And he is so humble. It is embarrassing, he says, when he hears his name being chanted around the ground. He deserves it, Phil. He deserves every moment of this.
Well, he is an owner of a sports club that has a passion for it, and I think that's evident, isn't it, by the support that his players have for him, the coaching staff have for him, and the supporters as well respect him, because they know he's not here for the glory, he's not here in the short-term pleasure-seeking trip here. He's here for the long term, to see this club built on strong foundations, which it clearly is now. A squad of 30 fit, strong players that have helped the side to finish at the top of the table after 26 rounds. They've got one left in them, which we'll of course see next week. But I suppose the players, when they enjoy tonight and wake up in the morning, might cast their minds back almost 12 months to what happened in the playoffs last year. They went to Hull and were beaten by almost 50 points. So they know tonight's about celebrating and enjoying it. These moments are few and far between in your career. But as Danny Brough and one or two of the others have pointed out, there's a few more weeks of hard work and sacrifice still needed.
Well, the big banner that they are stood behind says it all. Super League, League Leaders 2013. A long road. It's got a few more twists and turns to come, but they'll enjoy this night. And now it's heads down and take aim